What's up, guys? This is Latino Future here. Um, this video we're gonna be talking about what you need to do before you start investing, uh, which in my opinion is to have a strong financial foundation. We're gonna go over every layer of what it means to have a strong financial foundation, but this is basically what you need before you can go all in. So you have something to fall back in the case that your investments go wrong or something happens to them. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. Um, the first layer is gonna be protection. You're gonna ask protection from what? Well, protection from disability. If you become disabled, something happens to you. Maybe you're thinking you're too young. Oh, I'm all good for now. I don't need to worry about that until later. What if an accident happens and you have some health problems and you can't work? If you can't work, you're not having that extra income coming in. What will you do? What is going to happen? Is your work gonna keep paying for all your medical expenses? On top of that, be paying you um, your hospital bills, your medical bills? No. Maybe they'll do it for a little bit, but for how long they could keep that up before they get rid of it? That's something to think about. And the last thing, of course, is premature death. Premature death is something that we could never plan against. It's premature, of course, but there are definitely some plans out there that could help your family in case something happens to you. Let's say you're the main provider of the family. In average, it is said that a family takes around 10 years after the main food provider passes away for the family to recover. Imagine you're the main food provider and something happens to you. What is your family going to do? That is what this layer is here. Um, this is usually covered by some simple plans. Let's say, yeah, life insurance, of course, for premature death. So if something were to happen to you, your family has something to provide them in the meantime until they get back on their feet. For health and disability problems, I would definitely say something like long-term care, which I'll just give you a little summary of what it is. Uh, Usually abbreviated by LTC, which some people know it like for like old people and stuff like that for support for them, but this actually anybody could qualify for it. The younger you are, the easier it is for you to qualify. So just keep that in mind. If you qualify early, you don't need to requalify later. If you join in a plan for it. Sometimes they do come combined. There's some life insurance plans that uh, provide with both of them. So if you have any questions about that, let me know and I'll definitely answer in the comments. So if you guys want a separate video for that, we can also do that as well. Basically, long-term care. If something happens to you, you can't work, let's say for like 6 months. If you got into a car accident, you're in the hospital, basically long-term care, they will be providing you a set amount of money, giving it to you every month until you get back on your feet. Basically, if you can do one of the six essentials, um, um, like habits, like if you can walk, if you can go to the bathroom, if you can eat, uh, stuff like that. 2 out of the 6, and the long-term care gets active, and they basically are paying you instead of you paying them while that goes on. I don't want to go on a lot about that, but again, if you guys have any questions, let me know, and then we could definitely talk about that in the future. Let's jump into the second layer. The second layer is debt and liability management. Some people um, like to jump in to investment, even though they have thousands and thousands of dollars in credit card debt, student loans, medical bills, mortgage, like on your automobile. There's many kinds of debts and liabilities out there. Like if you're smart about the debt that you're using, you could use it for different reasons. Please don't get into debt if it's not necessary. I would never recommend that. There's not such thing as good debt, even though some people say, "Oh yeah, if you do this, it's a good thing." Like the credit card thing, you should never, never, never have an amount carry over on credit card. You should never be paying an extra interest on credit cards. That is something that is unacceptable. You should never be doing that. Student loans, everybody needs education, so I understand that if you have some student loan, they're really hard to get away from that one, say for medical bills, stuff like that. In this layer, you don't want to spend a lot of times, so you want to at least set a plan before you move to the next layer and to how you're gonna knock down each of your debts. There are different plan sets out there and different companies that will help you out with. Some of the more known plans are like the roll-up plan or the debt snowball effect. Um, that basically you could start with either the highest interest rate and focus on those, or start with the smallest amount of debt you have. Basically, focus on paying that while you pay the minimum on the other one. Pay that one off, but basically with that money that you were paying that one off on the monthly basic, uh, yeah, on your monthly every month, basically you're gonna add that amount into the next closest shortest once you pay it off. So let's say I own $500 on credit card, 1,000 on student loans. I paid the minimum for the student loans, um, and then I pay, let's say, 250 on credit card, and 250 whatever interest it is on the next month. If that's the case, once that's all paid off, those 250 and interest, I'm now just gonna claim it and put it back into my packet. Those 250 are gonna go straight up into paying the student loans instead of the credit card, because you got rid of your credit card debt. Now it's time to the student loans. Don't just take that money and do something else with it. Focus that money into paying another debt until you get rid of all of them completely. Once again, if you have any questions, we could go over to an entire video about how to manage your debt. That's a whole topic that, depending on what kind of debt you have, depending on the amount, it take a while. But there's definitely good, reliable ways of doing it. You just need to be a little bit more smart about it. I really do like the debt snowball method. You guys could look it up or let me know if you guys want to talk a little bit more about it. Okay, that's the second layer of a strong financial foundation. And let's jump into the next one. The third layer for a strong financial foundation is da 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 an emergency fund. Whew. What is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is gonna be 3 to 6 months of your monthly income that you're saving. I'm putting right here on the slide into a high yield savings account. This is gonna be basically money that you're gonna have in there and never touch it unless it's literally an emergency. Um, if you have said if you've been following so far, the first layer, of course, is protection. So if one of those things in protection happen, you don't even need to use this emergency fund. You could use those resources in the protection to cover whatever it is. This one, of course, could help you out with it, and then you could build it back up because those are basically very necessary stuff like disability and health issues. Um, but this one, you basically want to have 3 to 6 months. Let's say, for example, you got fired from your job and you are looking around to have a good job, another job to replace it, but you can't find anything. How long can you go? What is the amount that you have saved that you could liquidate at any time. Like, oh, I have this amount. Well, I'm trying to find another job. I'll be good for this. Honestly, I would say try to get it up to a year, if possible. But 3 to 6 months is a very strong base to start. Once you get all your finances straight and start gaining some money from investing and stuff, I would say go back into this layer and put in a little bit more. Once again, you don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but definitely before you jump into investing, you need to have an emergency fund. Let's say you're investing uh, straight away, you have all your money, you did layer one and two, you have everything planned out, but you don't have an emergency fund. Put all that money into investing, the market crashes. What are you going to do if the market crashes and then you get fired from your job? If those two things happen at the same time, which is very possible, a lot of people get laid off when there's a market crash. What will you do? Are you going to take out the stuff from your investment and lose all that money? Remember, whenever there's a market crash, everything is low. You're basically losing on a lot of different gains and stuff. So you don't want to take that money ahead of the time until the market bounces back up. So what I'm saying is basically have 3 to 6 months of your monthly income save into a high yield savings account. So at least you're getting a little percentage. Let's say around, try to get at least a 2% APY. So you're getting a little bit back on it and you're at least gaining something. Please don't put it into a savings account for Chase or Bank of America and stuff like those big banks that only give you like a 0.002 or 1% on it. You want at least a 2% APY so you're at least getting something back. Please. An emergency fund could also be used for stuff like, oh, you have a car repair and you have the rest of your money saved. You need something in the house broke and you have to use it. You use it for that. So basically, this is something you could fall on back. Basically, if your investment backfire, if something goes wrong. Again, please put it into a high yield savings account. Those things save life. Like that's the investment that they give you back over the long run is way more than most accounts give you. You just look into those. We can also look over what are the best high yield savings accounts out there, and banks in general. We could talk over that in another video. But yeah, emergency fund definitely third layer of what you need to have a strong financial foundation. Jump into the fourth layer. The fourth layer, what? The last layer to have a strong financial foundation is the reason why you were doing it all, honestly. Investing. You want to increase your money. What is the best way to increase your money? There are many different ways to increase your money. The main one that's been traditionally used is the stock market and the real estate market. These two markets, once again, all depends on the things that happen, don't happen. This company's doing well. This section of the city is doing good. Let's invest in this. Let's invest in that. There are many ways to invest in the stock and real estate market. So basically, depending on what you're looking for, there are many resources out there that will help you. Um, try if you're doing if you're investing in the stock market, at least do it commission free. Um, so something like Robinhood or Weevil, one of those investing apps that could help you out. Definitely check those out. I do have an account for both of those. I'll try to link it on the bottom. You guys can get some free stocks when you sign up. Um, but yeah, what else? Cryptocurrency is the latest and greatest kind of investing currency out there. Um, and honestly, it's very risky. So if you wanna go big or go home, that's the way to do it. If you wanna lose a lot of money and then the next day have literally nothing on your bank account, that's also a way to do it. But at this point, you have a strong financial foundation. So if you're young and you have time, you could probably bounce back. If you're a little bit older and you wanna go for something safer, I would check stuff like life insurance and bonds. Um, Life insurance is something called index universal life insurance that I would definitely check out, um, which lets you basically invest into the stock market through life insurance in a very safe way, while you also have your life insurance account on the side. Bonds in general are a little bit safer. They do give you a lower interest rate, so your money will take a little bit longer to increase than the normal, but it is safer if you are at an older age. If you're young and you're ready to ride the stock market, just go on ahead. The best time to do it is now. Right now we're running on the highs 2020. I say that, and then probably tomorrow we'll have a giant crash. So hopefully we don't, because that will be very disappointing. Um, yeah. So let me recap real quick. First layer, protection. Second layer, debt management. Third layer, emergency fund. And final layer, investment. So these are four things you should have to have a strong financial foundation. From there on, you could feel free and just go all out as long as you're following those steps. So basically, if one of those layers on top fails, you have something to fall on back, and you always have basically your base, which you always want to have. Remember, you don't build a house from the roof first. You have to build the base and build the surroundings, and you go up. Start from the bottom to go up. You can start on the top. So yeah, that's the video for today, guys. Let me know once again if you have any questions, if you have one of those topics that you would like to do a video on. Let me know, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.